Hello and welcome to the BFL Football Show for another week, proudly supported by McDonald's Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. What a big week it was last week. It was rivalry round, and we'll cover all the big games from last weekend during today's show. We'll also have a look at the Interleague campaign that started last night with the first training session for the senior players. The big game against Geelong's not far away at all. We'll also have a look at the netball, big round of netball last weekend. Also the Respect for Women round coming up this weekend. And for all those mothers out there, happy Mother's Day for this coming Sunday. We'll also cover some junior football as well. We've got a big show ahead. Let's get into it. Yes, hello and welcome to the BFL Football Show for another week, proudly supported by Ballarat Toyota and also McDonald's Ballarat. Nutty, thanks so much for joining us again on the show, mate. Another big weekend of action just gone.
Huge weekend, Braids, rivalry round. There's always huge crowds and that to get out and see the big matches, especially Darley, Bacchus and Melton South.
And that's the first game we'll have a look at, Nutty. Darley 17-11, 1-13, defeated Bacchus 15-5, 95. A really good win for Darley. They certainly, I think they would have... I suppose hoped to win this game after what happened last year. Bacchus beat them last year, and they'd be delighted to obviously record another win for this year. Yeah, another tight game though. Only a couple of goals in it, and fantastic result for Darley. They would have been looking to get back on the winners list after a disappointing performance against Melton a couple of weeks ago, and they're sitting 2-1. They're pretty happy. And obviously at half time, the Bacchus led by 2 points, and it's good to see that Darley can actually run out games this year. We saw so often last year where they couldn't match a side after half time, so that's very pleasing for I suppose for Rob McPherson and his new coaching staff. Yeah, look, they've got a lot more depth there this season, and they certainly would have been very satisfied that they were able to play a 4-quarter performance this week. Now Ballarat continued on their winning form with a really good win against Lake Wendouree. Just by having a look at the scores, none of you're obviously there, but Ballarat seemed to jump out of the box pretty well, but I think Lake Wendouree were pretty good after quarter time. Yeah, look, it was a pretty even contest after quarter time, although Ballarat got on top in the third quarter. Lake Wendouree played some good footy in the second and fourth quarters, but fell down in the first and third. And look, Ballarat threatened to blow the game open, but when they got out to a comfortable lead, they just seemed to take the foot off the pedal and relax, and it's definitely concerning for Ballarat, who've got a lot of young players in their side at the moment. And the final scores in that game were Ballarat 11-14-80, defeated Lake Wendouree 8-17-65. It just seems to me that Lake Wendouree is struggling for avenues to goal at the moment. Obviously missing some pretty handy players from last year, Paul McMahon, those sort of guys, and they're the big shoes to fill. Still had 25 scoring shots though. It's had their opportunities and they just weren't able to put them through the big sticks. Hopefully they can, I suppose, bounce back for their sake this week and have a really good game against Redan. Now last week, Sunbury played Sebastopol down at Clark Oval. Sunbury 2015, 135, defeated Sebastopol 9-8-62. Probably no surprises here, Nutty. It looks really win for Sunbury. Looks like Sunbury basically did what they had to do. The game was pretty much wrapped up by half time, and to Sebastopol's credit, they didn't throw in the towel. They came out after half time and they put 5 goals on the board in the third quarter. So they're a young side. They're going to do this. They're going to go through lapses. They might have a couple of blowouts here and there, but then they might stun the football world and actually come up with a couple of victories here and there. You just never know. Yeah, we see it so often with Sunbury. Multiple goal kickers, and on the weekend there's no exception with 12 guys who have contributed on the scoreboard. So just goes to show how much depth they've got right across the board. They do each year, and they're looking the goods again in 2012. Very good. Now Melton South played Melton. Melton South 17-14, 1-16, defeated Melton 8-7-55. So a really good win there for Melton South. It just goes to show that they've continued on their good form from last year. Matthew Sutton in really good form again, kicking 7 goals. Yeah, Melton's one I can't quite work out. They're a funny side. They come out and they smash Darley, and then they struggle against Melton South. And look, nothing against the South boys. They've obviously had a really good match, and Matty Sutton and Frank Holes are kicking 12 goals between them. A great effort by those two boys, and they've got plenty of opportunities up forward, and they're going to be a dangerous side to anyone in the top 6 this year, and they'll be pushing for a top 6 spot themselves. Yeah, for sure. And the last game we'll have a look at was played on Sunday at the Eastern Oval. Obviously, the new surface down there. East Point played Redan in this game. Redan 18-18, 126, defeated East Point 13-16, 94. And look, I saw a little bit of this game, and look, East Point were certainly right in the game up until 3-quarter time, but just with Redan's experience, ran away with the game in the last quarter. Got a few experienced players, got them over the line. Jared Edwards, I think Dean Chester's last quarter was pretty good too. So Look, Redan, I suppose they'd be satisfied with that win, but they've certainly got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is a really high-scoring, high-quality game of football too, and some very positive signs there for East Point. They've got a very young team in this year. They've got a lot of kids that they're trying to rotate through the midfield. You know, they don't have that depth that they've had the luxury of in previous years, but you know, they took it up to the reigning premiers in Redan, and they showed that they can match it with them. But you know, they just weren't quite able to put together a four-quarter performance, and Redan were just too good in the end. But you know, it brings a bit of life into the competition. There's no doubt about that.
Exactly. Now we'll move on to the interleague, Nunny. The senior interleague started last night under new coach Sean Maloney, and we were both there. He's certainly very passionate, and he's doing an excellent job so far. So that's good to see that the players were there last night, and hopefully the squad can sort of develop over the coming weeks, and they can really have a good show beating Geelong on the 26th of May.
Yeah.
Now, just some players to look at from Geelong. They've obviously got some pretty big name players in their squad. The likes of Brad Ottens, obviously played last year's premiership for Geelong. Max Took and Ryan Gamble, also ex-AFL players as well. So certainly got some big names Geelong.
They do. And look, it's great for country football that these guys are filtering back into local footy and giving back to the community support that they got when they were playing at the highest level. And if they're able to line up for Geelong on the 26th of May at the Eastern Oval, it's just going to be a sensational game, and we're really looking forward to hosting them. And hopefully it's a good spectacle, and we get as many people at the ground as we possibly can.
No, just 2 years ago when we played, Geelong was a big crowd, so hopefully the same people, along with a few more, can get behind the game this year as well.
Yeah, it adds a little bit more spite to the game, I think, the result 2 years ago, and we're looking forward to playing them again.
For sure. Now, just moving to junior football, Nani, the Golden Point Junior Footy Club. Obviously started the season with only one under 14 side. Now they've got 2 under 14 sides now, which is great to see. Yeah, look, the volunteers down there are doing a sensational job. They're getting things back on track. They're getting a few more kids back to the club and a few more families back to the club, which is great to see. Kerry Leckie and the guys down there are doing a sensational job. They're fantastic volunteers, and it's just really good to see them get that second under 14 side up. It just means a hell of a lot for their future, and it's only up and up from this point forward. Very good. Now the Spirit of Football Netball program launch. Obviously, we have winners from the football and netball side of things each week. Now last week's winners are Xavier Veering from North Ballarat, and also Sam Lawler from East Ballarat Netball. Yeah, two very good performances and very fair performances from Xavier in the football, and obviously Sam in the netball, and very deserving winners this week. Sure. Now, the senior netball wrap for last week, Nunny, some really good games. First game we'll look at is two teams that had pretty good rivalry, or they always had good rivalry, but really good games last year as well, in Bacchus and Darley. Yeah. They both played finals last year, and on the weekend, Bacchus pipped Darley by 1 point. Yeah, look, if anyone was at Manningley Park on the weekend, they were treated to a ripping game of football, but if they were over at the netball court, they would have seen an equally as good a game of netball. And these two teams, they always put together a very even performance, and it's tough to tip one way or the other when they come up against each other. And last season, I think Darley had the better of Bacchus Marsh, and this season Bacchus Marsh were able to get on top of Darley by one single goal. So, really, really interesting to see the rivalry unfold between these two sides. For sure, and East Point, that was obviously a big game against Redan on the weekend. Redan 28 defeated East Point 18. Yeah, look, Redan lost that one. Well, what have you got here, mate? That's an incorrect score, unfortunately. But, just making sure you're on the money line. Got the wrong scores there. Redan actually lost that game to East Point. East Point upsetting the reigning premiers last year. That might be a different competition, that one there. I'm not sure what's going on there, but... It shows we're human now. It's exactly right. Look, a fantastic performance by East Point after they got beat by Ballarat the week before in an upset, and to bounce back, obviously they had a lot more players back into their side who were away on pride duty in that game against Ballarat, and they stunned Redan, who lost Cass Hobbs to a knee injury that week, and obviously they don't have Steph, the goal shooter for them, whose name escapes me at the moment, but they don't have her anymore, and it was a big upset, and Redan will be looking to bounce back against another tough game this week against Lake Wendouree. For sure, and as you said, Lake Wendouree, too good for Ballarat. Ballarat obviously won last game against East Point, so it goes to show how even the competition is, and probably in this early stage in the season, Lake Wendouree are obviously the side to beat. We know how good they've been over the last 4 or 5 years. Obviously last year they lost the grand final, but they won the previous 4, so... They'll certainly be up there again, Sally McLean's girls. Oh, definitely. They've just been very lucky to be able to retain a core group of girls that have been able to play together for that 5-6 year period, and they're obviously reaping the benefits from that right now. And Sunbury far too good for Sebastopol. Yeah, it's good to see Sunbury got their act together in the netball again, and they were too good for Sebastopol at home, and they're going to be a tough side to beat this year as well. They might push for that 6th position. And Melton were too good for Melton South in the local derby down there.
Yeah, Melton's star continues to rise. They're a good side, Melton, and they're going to play finals.
Can you see them contending this year? Can they beat the Lake Wendouree, the East Points, the Ballarat sort of sides?
I think they might struggle against the Lake Wendouree, Redans, East Points, but they're certainly going to they've already pushed back a Smash and Darley, so they're going to be in that bracket from probably 4 to 6. But who knows what can happen.
Now this weekend, the big respect for women round, or I suppose as it's otherwise known as Mother's Day round, and obviously Mother's Day falls on this Sunday. And the Ballarat Football Netball League has been doing a lot of work with obviously the Fair Game Respect Matters program, which is a great program which certainly recognises the contribution that women put into our football netball clubs across the league, and they certainly play a huge part. I think, I suppose, in time we'll see more and more females being involved. I think just looking at the junior clubs, Nutty, there's more and more females getting involved on committees and that sort of stuff, so which is great to see.
Absolutely, well said, Braids. And this round is all about acknowledging the contribution that women do make to our great game, and it's fantastic to see so many women putting their hands up and getting involved in our clubs behind the scenes. And some of the best administrators that I work with are females, and they do a sensational job, and they just make the place a better environment to be around, and we certainly appreciate everything that they do for the club. And if Mum's watching out there, happy Mother's Day to you on Sunday, and to all the mothers out there, have a great Mother's Day, and hope it's a fantastic day for you.
Very well said. Now, have a look at this weekend's big games, Nutty. I reckon the game is listed first. It's probably the biggest game of the round, Ballarat v North City. Ballarat have shown this year that they can match it with the best sides in the competition. They were very unlucky in round 1 not to beat Redan, and since then they've had a couple of really good wins. This is their next big test against one of the premiership favourites in North City. Yeah,
I think this is the first real test that Ballarat, no disrespect to Redan, who are obviously undermanned in round 1, but this will be, Ballarat will see where they're at this weekend against North Ballarat City, who are considered to probably be one of the top 3 sides in the competition. So, look, if Ballarat's going to be any chance this year, they're going to have to obviously push North Ballarat and push them all the way.
Now, Darley and Summer is the next game we'll have a look at. Darley are obviously going pretty well. They've got a big test this week against a Sunbury side that's, I suppose, a seasoned side, and a side that will probably feature come September.
They definitely will. I think they'll be a top 2 side. Darley's obviously coming from a long way back, and we've already seen the improvement that they've shown this season so far. But it's very difficult to see them beating a team with so many stars, such as a side like Sunbury.
East Point Melton, Nutty. East Point will be desperate to win their first game for the year, and obviously at the Eastern Oval. What a great, we should have spoken about before, the service. I thought it was really good from over the boundary line. I wasn't sure what the players thought, but it was fantastic to see footy back to the Eastern Oval again.
Absolutely, and as we said last week, East Point have had limited interruptions. Obviously their pre-season they've had to find other venues, but in terms of playing home matches, they would have been thrilled to get out on the Eastern Oval again on the weekend. It was a great surface. The council have done a sensational job in getting the game up for their home games, and look, this is an interesting clash. It depends which Melton turns up. If the good Melton turns up, we're going to get a close one. If the bad Melton turns up, East Point I think will definitely win. I don't know if they've got anyone to play on DJ though, so I reckon because of DJ, I reckon East Point will get over the line.
Now Melton South and back of Smash, both sides are sort of thereabouts. I think it's a big game for both clubs, really.
Huge game. Obviously Melton South need to win this game to stay in touch with the top 6. Back of Smash, they need to win this game to entrench themselves in the top 6. So. We talk about 8-point games all the time. I reckon this is definitely one of them.
For sure. The last game of the weekend we played at the City Oval on Saturday afternoon. Redan v Lake Wendouree, and Lakers will be desperate to get a win on the board, and Redan obviously be keen to, I suppose, continue on their winning form.
Worst start to a season for Lake Wendouree since 2006. They'll be keen to get a win on the board, but I can't see it happening this week.
Now, Nani, the launch of the Red Photos and J-Zone, is it J-Zone magazine?
That's correct, yep.
Coming up very soon?
Yeah, look, Red Photos is now available. You'll be able to access those by going onto the BFL website and clicking on the links to there, so you'll be able to have a look at the snaps that are taken around BFL venues of a weekend, and everyone's got the opportunity to purchase those. And obviously J-Zone is an online magazine for junior kids to get online and have a look at everything football and netball, and that's going to be launching as of next week.
And the Ballarat Football Netball League live scores application, obviously go to the website, click on the iPhone.
That's it. Every week we tell everyone on their smartphones, jump on the BFL website, click on the big iPhone and download the app, and you can get the live scores as they happen.
No, you're unbelievable. You're a wealth of information. If without you on the show, mate, there'd be no show. So once again, thanks for joining us on the program, and hopefully you can, I suppose, join us next week.
And without you, bros, we'd have to find another host.
You would. Thanks very much for joining us on the BFL Footy Show once again for another week. Proudly supported by McDonald's Ballarat and Ballarat Toyota. To all those mothers out there, happy Mother's Day for Sunday.